actually quite impressed by the cabin in this car. I mean, there is quite a lot of traditional black plastic, as you find on a lot of Japanese cars, but it actually looks quite well designed and put together.
Yeah, I think you'd have more of a problem if you were parting with 25 grand for the car. You'd say, you know, not as good as a BM, say, but if you're paying 9.6, you know, this is of a far superior quality to anything else you can get for the money. And if you compare it with my Puma, the dash has come straight from a Fiesta.
Absolutely.
So this is definitely a step up for me.
I mean, what about the way that the car drives? How does the power feel and the performance?
It goes, I mean, once you get over 3,000 revs and the turbo starts doing its thing, you run out of road before you run out of grunt.
The SXs have been around for quite a few years now. They were first launched this sort of second generation in 1994, so they've been around for a while. The end of these cars is nigh, so I think you can get some real good bargains. I mean, not only this car, but you know, if you didn't want to spend quite as much as this, you'd probably find a very nice car for 7 grand or so.
I get the impression that you rather like this motor, Simon, and perhaps it's the thought of all that extra oomph that appeals, and I kind of agree. Good news is, of course, with just about 25,500 miles on the clock, there is a whole lot of life left in this engine. Because Nissan may not be the most exciting and sporty of brands, but they do make cars and engines that last and last, even when they've got turbos. That turbo, of course, is just part of this motor's aggression, and another part is reflected in the image. The front end was extensively redesigned and I think pepped up to look a lot more aggressive, a bit macho and very sporty. Then there's inside. Well, I'm afraid brace for a bit of disappointment, Simon. Whereas your Puma looks quite sparky and exciting inside, there really is nothing to talk about in here. It's very bland, very plasticky, no ornamentation, not a single sporty touch. And another disappointment at the back. It may be a pretty massive motor, but well, it's well padded in the back seat, but unless all your friends have enormous backsides and tiny spindly legs to fit behind the front seats, it ain't gonna work. And then, despite being quite a big car, where your Puma has, well, a sort of deep and narrow boot, this has a very wide but very shallow boot. I think it will get your speakers in there, but not a lot else. The thing about the 200SX to me is Ford should have taken a much longer, closer look at this car when they were trying things like their ghastly Probe and then the Cougar that followed, because it does it right. It may be a little bit traditional, it's rear-wheel drive and a bit medallion man and a bit wah, but that's what this sector is. That's exactly what it's here for. If you want small, sensible and very much modern design type feel, you'd stick with your Puma. You want something a bit wah, and that's exactly what the 200SX is.
So there we are, Nissan 200SX. Simon, what do you reckon to that?
Fantastic.
You like that, don't you?
Right, man. Yeah. The right amount of power, going to the right wheels, leather interior, great.
It's a sharp handling car, and I think it's a bargain as well. I mean, £9,600 is actually the cheapest of the 3 we've got on offer today.
Yeah, a couple of grand left in the bank, not bad.
Marvellous, can't beat it.